What is up? I'm Full Metal Lifter, this is Metal Weightlifting, and today we are talking about these wrist straps. Let's get into it. Our wrist strap review today. She's been weightlifting for how long?
We just started recording.
Did you hit record?
Just now.
I was practicing.
Okay. Hey, today we are going to be reviewing our wrist straps. I'm Snatched Potato. From
our wrist straps?
Our wrist straps.
That we own? That we created? That we made?
Well, the wrist straps that we fucking have. No.
There are contestants for all our wrist straps that we're going to review today. And before we get into our wrist strap review, I'd like to introduce a special guest who's going to join in and talk about her experience with all these wrist straps, Elsie.
Hi.
The other one was way better! Why would you do that?
I don't know! You did it differently. Try again!
Think about what you're going to say before I introduce you, motherfucker. A special guest. Snatched Potato on Instagram, Elsie, my girlfriend. We've been dating for almost 4 years, and you've been weightlifting for how long?
For almost 3.5 years.
Nice.
Yes.
I basically made you weightlift within 6 months of dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, weightlifting is contagious. Anyways, first wrap on our review list is Scaph Wraps, so let's go ahead and get into that. So for all the wrist straps that we're going to be reviewing today, we're just going to give a pros and cons side by side, and that way you as the viewers can decide based on what you prioritize, what you think is going to be the best straps for you. We're going to talk about Scaph Wraps. So pros about the Scaph Wraps, they're pretty quick to get on, really, Velcro makes it really nice, and they're also easily tightenable, like during the workout if you just twist them. Just like this, they'll tighten up. You don't have to unwrap it all the way and then wrap it back on. You can just twist it. They provide good carpal support, so you can actually customize how you wrap these. You can wrap them maybe a little bit higher, a little bit wider, anything like that, and you can give yourself a good amount of support just by doing that. They also are a minimalist design, which is kind of a style trending right now between Onyx and Scaph. And for those extra style points, not bad. And not to mention, these only cost $29, and $29 for some of these more higher-end designer wrist straps is a pretty good price.
Their starting point. Their starting price is $29. You are able to get them customized. You can change the color, the thread color, but those do cost $39.
So cons of the Scaph Wraps is that they can at times be uncomfortable. If you tighten them too much or in the wrong area, it can kind of scratch you up. On top of that, you had an experience with getting bruised.
Yeah, so maybe the first or second time whenever I was trying the wraps, I did get some bruising along the side of my wrist here. Nothing serious, it wasn't like anything I was super concerned about, but that is something that I do consider whenever I'm trying things out.
On top of that, they kind of took a while to receive. I know that Timothy is working on addressing this issue right now. He currently has a website that he created upon recently, and I assume that the website is going to help him organize his workflow in terms of how soon from getting an order to getting it shipped out he's able to perform. And for me personally, I ordered them and it took maybe 3 to 4 months to receive them, so quite a while. And if you go on his Instagram comments, you can see that some people have had the same issue. So just be aware that you may not receive these wraps, or maybe because of the website, he's now delivering a lot faster and on time. So if that's the case, then you don't even have to worry about the time.
So now Onyx wrist straps. These are my favorite. They provide a lot of support. I work as a massage therapist, so I get a lot of wear and tear on my wrist joints. My carpals are often really irritated, so they do provide the support that I'm looking for.
So on that note of providing a lot of support, they also are pretty stylish, right? And on top of that, they smell like leather. And if you like the way leather smells, then you'll like these.
They also provide a lot of content on Instagram about how to size them, how to put them on, and any aftercare that you have to do. So there's a lot of information out on the internet
that they provide. So along with all those pros that you get, there is a pretty hefty price to pay for this, you know, Gucci style. With Gucci style comes Gucci price. We're talking $52. Ouch. Yeah, $52 for some wrist straps is a pretty hefty price to pay. They're really nice folks though, and they do, you know, provide a lot of support. They're stylish, they're made out of leather, so I guess you have that. On top of that, they do recommend that you have aftercare or maintenance care with your wrist straps using oil. Specifically, I think it's Neat's Foot.
They call it on their website, it's the Onyx oil.
Yeah.
Which is just their branded term for Neat's Foot oil? Neat's Foot?
Yeah, it's Neat's Foot.
I'm gonna write that down. Neat's Foot oil.
Yeah. So they just use Neat's Foot oil to rub on these to keep the leather lasting long, not cracking, anything like that. General leather care. And that's the price to pay whenever you have leather, I guess. But on top of that, you can get it pretty cheap if you just go to your local store. If you buy it from Onyx, it's $8, so in total you would be looking at paying $60 for a pair of wrist straps and the aftercare, which is pretty high. So that's why it's in the cons.
Yes. Moving on to Richmond.
Oh, you don't want to, you didn't want to do that.
Richmond.
So Richmond wraps are my favorite wraps. Her favorite being Onyx, my favorite being Richmond. And the reason why, so whenever I was 19, 20, I fell back in a clean, kind of like how Zach did, and smashed my elbow against the floor, having the barbell pin my wrist backwards like this and hyperextending it. So ever since then, I've had kind of wrist issues, and these wrist straps right here provide me the most support out of all of the ones that I've tried. The reason being, I think, is because they travel up the wrist a little bit more. I'll go ahead and give a zoom in of that. And they travel down the wrist. They cover a lot of your wrist in general. On top of that, once you got them locked in, right, you don't have to fidget with these throughout the workout. You don't have to tighten them. They don't come loose. I mean, they're buckled in. They're not going anywhere. And that allows you to just focus more on your workout and less on your wrist. So they have two versions. They have the Stealth and then they have the R2. The R2 is $49.99, and with all the leather that it takes, it's a pretty good price, especially whenever compared to Onyx straps. With the Stealth, it's only $39.99, so that's even more affordable if you don't necessarily want to pay the $49.99. If you want to know more about the Richmond wraps, I already did a video on these, going more into detail about the comparison between the Stealth and the R2s. So if you're interested, check that out. Okay, over here.
Over here? Or
over here? No, it's gonna be right here, in between us, right here. There you go. So for the cons, some people don't like the setup of having to buckle it in. I'm gonna go ahead and post a speed run of me putting all the different wraps on at the end of this video so you can see just how long it takes. With that, there's also these flappy doodles kind of here. Some people don't like that. Some people, this is a huge turn away. Other people, I've heard actually like it. I don't know why, they just do.
But if you don't like the little flappies, we did come up with an idea where you basically just take the little flappy parts and tuck them over the opposite little wrap. So then you have this little crossover deal going on, and it still looks really cool, still style points. through the roof.
It looks like you're about to, you know, go bow and arrow and shoot somebody and be a hero. So
for real though, that is exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said
it. That's a really good comparison.
So moving on to Chriology wraps. These are fabric. They're closer to the 2-inch design that I was kind of mentioning earlier, and they are pretty nice. Will Fleming is a huge advocate for these. He recommends them to everybody in his gym. He's the one who actually recommended these to me. Shout outs to Will. One thing that makes these really nice is they have a fabric or a texture right here, a rubber grip texture. I'll go ahead and do a zoom in of that, where it grips as you tighten. So what I'm basically saying is you can get these really, really tight. On top of that, they are Velcro, unlike the Hookgrip, which is a string and a knot. And Velcro just makes it super quick and easy.
Yeah, they stay really nicely. You're also able to kind of customize where you have the most support. You can put it a little bit higher onto the wrist or a little bit lower, just depending on where you need it.
Yeah, wherever you feel you need the support. That's the nice thing about fabric wraps, is that you can kind of customize it.
Yes.
If you're more on a budget, these are only $29.99, which makes them a little bit more affordable to everyone. Moving into cons. One of the cons is that they are $30, and when compared to Hookgrip, which are only $15. Similar style, so you're paying basically double for what you pay for Hookgrip wraps, and a lot of people, you know, swear by those as they're just plastics. On top of that, they're pretty long. If I'm trying to get these off, I can go around quite a ways. They're kind of similar to boxing wraps in how long they are, so just be aware of that. It takes a little while to take them on and off because of that.
We're moving on to Hookgrip. Everyone knows Hookgrip. Everyone swears by Hookgrip. They come out with pictures, shirts.
It's hard not to like Hookgrip.
It's really hard not to like Hookgrip. They're just like...
Damn. Tell them how you really feel.
Sponsor me.
So aside from Hookgrip just being Hookgrip and Hookgrip being awesome because it's Hookgrip, what are some of the other pros that comes with these Hookgrip wrist wraps? Well, for one, they're pretty affordable. They're only $15, like I mentioned earlier. $15 is probably one of the best prices you could pay for this high quality of wrist wraps. They also use a pretty firm nylon for their fabric. It's kind of soft too. You don't really get it scratching on you a whole lot. I mean, it can if you tighten it enough. But for the most part, they're pretty comfy and they're gonna get the job done, and they're
good.
They're good.
Hear me out, please. With any fabric, it's going to absorb sweat. If you have sweaty wrists and you use them often, just go ahead and do us all a favor and wash those.
Yeah, they smell pretty bad at times. Like, you can sweat into these for a while and they're gonna absorb a lot of sweat and they're gonna start smelling.
And they can get rank, especially if you leave them in your gym bag.
Yeah, if you smell your knee sleeves, then you know exactly what these can smell like, because they can get to that degree.
Yeah, so just there's some upkeep involved. Just wash them.
Yeah, wash them, take care of them. You do have to kind of readjust these during the workout. They'll come loose and then you just gotta tighten them. And not to mention this knot right here on the end of the string, for a lot of people, I know that my older wraps did this, can come loose, and then as you can see, it just starts fraying. These are actually fairly new wraps that my athlete Caleb got, and probably within the first week the knot came loose on this one, and then maybe a month in, like later, the knot on the other wrap came off. And so you just got to re-knot it so that way you can tuck it and it won't come loose. So at the end, we are at the end of our list of wrist wraps. This is the last one. If you're on a budget, then these are going to be the perfect fit for you. Boxer wraps. Caleb, my athlete, swears by these. I'm not going to put them on because he's worn these and that's sweaty and gross. But they're only $2 and you can easily replace them anytime that they get ripped or torn, which they probably will, because
they're
pretty
thin fabric.
Thin and cheap fabric, but they provide a lot of support because there's so much of it, as you can tell, that you can just wrap and wrap and wrap around your wrist until as tight as you need, until you can't, feel your bands. So
probably not that tight. I don't recommend that.
I wouldn't either, but I'm not a doctor.
Out of scope of practice.
So before we end the video, I'm gonna go ahead and give a speed run of me putting all the different wrist wraps on. So here's that. So out of all the wrist wraps we've reviewed today, there are still more. And I invite you, my viewers, to go and check them out. The Rogue leather wrist wraps. Let me know what your thoughts are on those. I have never worn them, and I would have liked to include them on this review, but I'm kind of tapped out and spent on all the money I had to spend on getting all these wraps.
We shouldn't say that.
People should know and appreciate how much money we spent on all these wraps. So let us know what your thoughts are on all the different wraps we've talked about today. What do you think is going to be your favorite? Which ones are you looking at to buy? Let us know it all down in the comments.
Okay.
If you have any wrist wraps or other equipment that you want me to review, let me know down in the comments as well. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear what you guys want to know about, and maybe I can be the guinea pig and just try it all out for you guys. Anyways, that's been another video from Meta Weightlifting to you. I will see you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye.
Which way are we? Wait, are
you get a windshield, or no, not like a windshield.
Wait, let's do it like a windshield.
Okay, like windshield. Bye.
Bye.
Is this you in the gym?
Up.
Jotaro. Well, not anymore. With this Meta Squat program, you can look like this.
Come on. Push.
Not convinced yet? Alright, I'll cut you a deal. This program is available for free. And that's a great price.